Hello, my name is Eduardo, and I'm in the team with Kells and Javier. So today we're going to talk about the research project that we're doing. So I'm going to be asking Kells a couple of questions here. Kells, more or less, what's the main goal of the project?
So the main goal of the project is to reduce the weight of a car by 50% and thereby increase the fuel efficiency of the car.
Okay, awesome. And like we went into some research into it, and we found out like there's new materials that through innovation we found. So what are those materials that we found, and what are like positive things and some negative things about those materials?
So the biggest new material we found is the metal lattice structure that Boeing just released, and this structure is 99% air, which means it's extremely lightweight, but at the same time it's a newly developed material. It doesn't have a lot of applications yet, and so we don't know how it would be applied in an actual car yet, but Boeing is talking about using it within the cabin of the airplanes.
All right, so you're talking about some project that Boeing was doing, but now going towards the car industry and like the innovation in the car industry, what are some experiments that companies have done? So what's some things that the companies have done?
So a lot of companies are now looking into using aluminum for the materials in the car. And aluminum is very lightweight. It can reduce the fuel or the weight of the car by up to 50 to 60% by mass. But it's a little bit more expensive. It's about 3 times more expensive than the steel and iron that pays in the car now. And another thing that car companies like Bugatti are looking into is carbon fiber, which has 4 times the strength of steel, but the cost is astronomically higher.
Okay.
It's like $16 per pound of carbon fiber.
Okay. And one of the main things, especially in the car industry, is the safety factor. So you want clients to buy something that's feasible at the same time safe.
Yeah.
So how do you think those innovations are happening, are helping the safety factor?
So with aluminum, a safety factor would definitely be more of a concern because it's not as strong as steel or iron. However, as I was saying earlier, carbon fiber, it is actually stronger than steel and it's more lightweight. So it'd be a very viable alternative if we could get the cost down.
Awesome. All right, so Tesla's going on right now. It's really innovative project or company that came right now, and they're all making cars full of electricity. And when you first think of it, you might think like, oh my God, an engine is obviously heavier than a battery of the Tesla. But after researching, what did you find out about that?
So we actually found that the Tesla is heavier than most cars in its class because the batteries cover the whole chassis of the car, which makes the battery heavy in itself. And it also has a undercar shield to protect the batteries so they don't catch on fire, which also increases the weight of the car. However, theoretically, if you did get rid of the engine, you got rid of the chassis and the drivetrain, or not the drivetrain, but the transmission, the car would be lighter. You can actually see that in the Prius, because the Prius is about 200 pounds lighter than other cars in its class. And while 200 pounds isn't a significant amount, it is still a weight reduction.
And even though the Prius is not 100% electric, right? It's, I don't know exactly, but it's like almost half and half electric and by an engine. So this is something definitely that was cool that we learned. Finally, is there anything that you learned about this project that you didn't know before, and something like shocked you also?
I found it very interesting to see the relationship between the cost of the materials and the weight of the car when building it out of those materials. And we kind of found that the lighter the material, the more expensive it is to manufacture the car and buy the raw materials, which is a huge hurdle that car companies will have to come over if they want to decrease the weight of cars and increase the fuel efficiency by decreasing the weight of the car.
Perfect. Definitely this is something that we as engineers we're going to need to think about. Definitely our class of engineers will have different challenges. This innovation is constantly happening. So for sure, I think it's a project that really helped us. It was a really eye-opening project, and I'm really glad we did it. So yeah, thank you very much. Hope you liked the project and our topics that we discussed. Have a great day.